There we go, 28 laps. It's the new circuit, of course, so no lap records. Valentino Rossi, the fastest man to lap it in qualifying. What a front row. Valentino Rossi, Casey Stoner, Jorge Lorenzo, all of them Grand Prix winners this season.
Nicky Hayden, the fan favourite, starts row 2 and could be a threat here today with Ben Spies and Radi de Punier alongside.
Row 3, Andrea Dovizioso, Danny Pedrosa and Tony Elias, the man in 4.
Tech 3 boys, James Tozen, Colin Edwards, and outside them, Alex De Angelis on the Gresini Honda.
Row 5, Loris Capirossi, Sylvain Quintili and Chris Vermeulen.
On row 6, it will be John Hopkins, Shinya Nakano, and Hopkins' next year's teammate Marco Melandri, and this year's teammate Ant West brings up the rear on row 7. But watch out for him because he was faster than anyone out there in wet conditions. And this race will start wet. They'll be on full wet tyres now. You can see there are a few puddles here and there, but it's dried out. It's stopped raining. The main problem is the wind. But Nick, we're going to have racing here on time at Indianapolis. What an historic moment and what a historic race this is going to be.
1909, the first race ever held at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway was a motorcycle race. We return with round 14 of the MotoGP World Championship. We race in the rain on 2 wheels. They may not on 4 wheels in NASCAR and IndyCar. It makes no difference to these men and these machines. We're at Indianapolis on the warm-up lap.
Now they'll be feeling their way around on this warm-up lap, seeing where the puddles are, seeing what lines they can take, seeing where the dry patches are, seeing when it gets dry where those puddles are so they can cool down those wet tyres. There'll probably be a bike change during this race somewhere along the right line because it probably will dry out. Something will happen in this. I can guarantee you this is going to be a thriller. So exciting, isn't it, Nick, to finally have the bikes out here ready to race. The rain has stopped, thank goodness. We had a horribly wet day on Friday. We had a beautiful day yesterday. It's an in-betweener. We had sun this morning, big old showers, wind and everything. We've gone through all the emotions, but there's a big crowd here. Fair play to the organisers for getting all those fans in because despite the conditions, it looks like they really have a very good crowd here. The first time MotoGP will race at this circuit.
Right, it's onto the back end of the circuit through those beautiful S sections, as we say, rather like Bruno and Mugello. Not like some of the race tracks we go to. The track's still wet, past the golf course, onto the back straight. Just reminds us of the pictures we see back in Europe with the Formula 1 cars here, don't we? But here we are.
They were going
motorcycles, but they were going the other way. But
Casey Stoner said beforehand, there's no way you could practice this circuit unless you went on the Formula 1 game on the PlayStation and drove it backwards. But even then, they have changed parts of this section. Now, this is the part where the riders will love the grip. The older asphalt, the older surface. Through turns 1 to about 6, it's all new asphalt through there. And it's a bit, they say it's like a bit like riding on ice, riding on lino. But through this final section of the circuit, they love it. It offers so much grip, and that's been a couple of the problems for the riders here this weekend. On board now with one of the Gresini riders, Shinya Nakano. They make their way back through. They flick it right and then left, and then on to start finish straight.
Somebody is going to take a big gamble, aren't they? The Ant West of this world, the Sylvain Quintilis, people who've got nothing to lose, they're going to take a big gamble in these early laps because these guys at the front are going to be very careful indeed because it is slippery in these conditions. The surfaces have been changing and they want to be careful, but somebody or some people will not, and they're going to go for it.
Especially turn 1. Watch out for turn 1. Watch how gingerly they're going through there. They've all been a little bit nervous there, and certainly in these kinds of conditions with the track ready to dry, it'll be very tough indeed. Nicky Hayden, the home favourite, will be desperate to do well here. Look at Ant West waving about getting some heat into his tyres. It's all revving up for what should be a very exciting Indianapolis MotoGP, and you can see how much wind there is by the red flag at the front as they line up on the grid.
We ride with Casey Stoner. Okay, we have waited 99 years for this moment. It was 1909 when the Indianapolis Motor Speedway was open with a motorcycle race. We return with round 14 of the MotoGP World Championship. Race fans, we're underway.
They all go for the outside of the track straight away. That's where it seems to be a dry line on board with Pedrosa. Seems to have a good start. Pedrosa has really made a good one from the upper. Look at Stoner. Stoner right up into the lead. Rossi dropped back to 4th. Casey Stoner hits the front. This is the start of his title fight back mainly.
Nicky Hayden up into 2nd place, I think.
That was Nicky Hayden as well. Jorge Lorenzo in 3rd spot as well. It looks like Ben Spies has been relegated to 6th by Danny Pedrosa.
But Casey Stoner leads the way. Nicky Hayden in second place. I think it's Andrea
Dovizioso who's up into third. What a great start from him from 7th on the grid. On the outside, that's helped him come through.
Through the puddles they go, scant regard to the conditions, and already Nicky Hayden's having a go. He's running a bit wide. Dovizioso's come through to take second.
Dovizioso does go through. Will Hayden be able to collect the line though on the second part of the SS? And Dovizioso's going to take over at the front. Dovizioso leads the Grand Prix, I think for the first time in MotoGP. Dovizioso from Stoner, Hayden in third, then it's Rossi. It's up into 4th position.
He said somebody was going to take a big gamble. Somebody was going to go for it. It's Andrea Dovizioso.
For the time being, that's how it stands. Look at the wind, just making all the hornings blow about, but Dovizioso leads. This is the better part of the circuit. They like the grip through here. I'm sure Hayden's going to try and make a dive up the inside of Stoner, but Stoner does close the door very, very quickly indeed. 28 laps of the circuit today, and they've gone through just the half of the first one, and Hayden now goes through to delight the fans, up into second, and listen to the crowd.
Hayden, the 2006 World Champion, takes the lead from the 2007 World Champion. The crowd are going to urge him on. Dovizioso, though, this is a fantastic start by the former 125cc World Champion. Valentino Rossi looking nice and comfortable in 4th place, just testing out the conditions, just seeing how it is.
He doesn't have to risk too much today. He's got a very big cushion in the championship, so he can take it fairly easy early doors in this race. So, leading us through, crossing the yard of bricks for the very first time, who'd have thought it? Andrea Dovizioso from Nicky Hayden, Casey Stoner in 3rd, Rossi 4th, Lorenzo 5th, and it's Pedrosa in 6th place. Behind him, Ben Spies, James Tozen in 8th. Then 9th is Tony Elias, 10th John Hopkins, 11th Depunier, 12th Nakano, 13th De Angelis, 14th Quintili. West is up into 15th already. Vermeulen surprisingly dropped to 16th. Capirossi, Edwards, and then Melandri bringing up the rear, on board with Valentino Rossi.
Yeah, Rossi trying to get past Casey Stoner. I think he's a bit worried of Dovizioso may go away at the front. Jorge Lorenzo just tucked in behind Valentino Rossi. Just through turn 5, and then round the left. Fabulous stuff here at Indianapolis. They're really not worried about the weather. They are absolutely flying. We've just got a difference there of Ben Spies. Spies just at the back of this group. Rossi trying everything he knows to get past Casey Stoner.
Oh, and Lorenzo takes advantage of it and goes up through him. So Lorenzo up into 4th position. Now pressurising Casey Stoner, but Stoner's riding very, very defensively here early on. He's obviously not too comfortable in the first part of this circuit.
Rossi now coming under pressure from Danny Pedrosa and Ben Spies. Well done, Andrea Dovizioso, but Nicky Hayden very, very close indeed. Dovizioso, 125cc World Champion. Hayden, of course, MotoGP back in 2006.
Pressure from Spies on Danny Pedrosa also. They go into this left-hand section now. 3 left-handers, which will bring them back towards the start-finish. Then a right-left kink before they go down the start-finish straight. Already the gap between Hayden and Stoner in 3rd position, as we'll have a look at Rossi trying to make a move up the inside of Stoner, and Jorge Lorenzo just taking advantage round the outside. That's his nickname in Spanish, Por Fuera, and that means round the outside. Through he goes, Jorge Lorenzo up into 3rd position, past Stoner now, and Por Fuera, as we just called him, up into 3rd, chasing down the leaders, Dovizioso, and Hayden, who's taken the lead now. Nicky Hayden leads the Indy Grand Prix.
Listen to the crowd, 4,000 have made their way from Owensboro, his local town, just 2 hours away, and Nicky Hayden leads in America. We've said that at Laguna Seca before, we've never said it at Indianapolis. Long, long way to go. They're taking it very, very careful for this new section. But Jorge Lorenzo beginning to look threatening in 3rd place. Valentino Rossi, Casey Stoner, Danny Pedrosa and Ben Spies. But Hayden leads the way in the rain.
Great stuff that, isn't it? For all the fans who've waited around. We've missed the 250 race. That's going to come after MotoGP. And they've just been sat around in the wind and the big rain. And finally they get some racing and they see their man at the front. Hayden leading from Andrea Dovizioso. This is interesting because Hayden's on the factory pneumatic valve bike and Andrea Dovizioso is supposed to be taking his seat. That's going to be announced in Motegi in a couple of weeks' time.
Michelin 1st, Michelin 2nd, Michelin 3rd.
Very interesting stuff, isn't it? Very, very interesting indeed. You see Danny Pedrosa coming through there. He's currently riding around in 6th position. Well, dropped to 7th now by Ben Spies. Of course, he switched to the Bridgestones before this race, dramatically after Misano. And he's just been taken by a wildcard. Ben Spies up into 6th. Great start from him. Rossi, meanwhile, has got past Stoner and up into 4th position. It looks like there's more rain out there again.
It does look very wet out there.
That could all play into Nicky Hayden's hands at the front here. He really has been sliding the bike out here, hasn't he, all weekend. Looks very, very comfortable with it at this circuit.
This is the right-hander, then they come into this series of left. Valentino Rossi now closing up on his teammate, Jorge Lorenzo. Lorenzo surprised him when he went past him. We ride with Nicky Hayden. The Kentucky kid leads the way. And there's a replay when he took the lead on the main straight, going over the yard of bricks. What a place to take the lead if you can do it. Pete Benson, the crew chief, can't believe it. But there's still 24 laps to go. A long, long way. But the Americans are happy. Hayden leads the way. Dovizioso makes such a great start. And Rossi now moves into third place. He's decided it's time to start pegging back those two Honda men at the front.
They've not got too far away anyway. He's the fastest man on the circuit, is Valentino Rossi, and pulling away from Casey Stone all the time. You see there's a wet patch just across there. That's not going to be easy for them when later in the race, if this surface does dry out at all. As we've said, this is the more difficult part of the circuit, the new asphalt for them, a bit icier they called it on the circuit, just a little bit greasy on there. And then when they come through these S's and onto the back straight, that's where it starts to like it, and they love it because it's really grippy through there.
Nicky Hayden, oh how he'd love these words, leads the Indy Grand Prix.
He's got the Indianapolis Colts symbol on his helmet as well. He's a big fan of that American football team. They're playing tonight as well, and he's a huge fan, and it all just slots into place at the moment, doesn't it? But there's still 24.5 laps remaining.
You were here, Gavin, when he rode at the Indy 500. You came here and he rode the bike round. He also rode the original 1909 bike round the circuit. His whole racing life is steeped around Indianapolis. The dirt truck, he was here last night, where he had so much success. Andrea Dovizioso come from a very different path, 125s and 250s, an equally tough customer.
Valentino Rossi, though,
looking ominous, isn't he? He's looking ominous.
A past master, though, in these kinds of conditions, and he's in third position, closing in on Andrea Dovizioso. Slowly but surely, he looks ready to pounce.
Took no risk in those opening 3 or 4 laps. Happiness being fourth place. Just set the fastest lap of the race.
152.1. The second fastest man is Nicky Hayden with a 152.8. But that's normal. They'll gradually get into these conditions.
Jorge Lorenzo still in fourth place. He's got a glimpse of Casey Stoner in fifth. Ben Speed sixth. Danny Pedrosa seventh. James Tozer doing very well in eighth. Chris Vermeulen now coming up into ninth place. John Hopkins 10th.
These 3 Americans then in the top 10.
Rossi's ready to pounce. Dovizioso knows it. Rossi will bide his time. He said yesterday at the press conference, 2 or 3 places that makes it good for overtaking here. I don't think turn 1 would be one of them, would you?
No, even through here, he says the change of direction through here. That's somewhere we already seen Lorenzo have a go at him around here. And also at the end of the back straight, the end of the front straight, maybe not so much, but in some of the tighter areas, you say there are a couple of lines you can take through there. And that's what's great to show the American fans over here, especially in this area where they're used to oval racing, they're used to the likes of NASCAR, and there's certainly rain falling in that part of the circuit. You can just see in the air just how much rain there is. So it's not completely dried out.
No, it certainly hasn't. In no way is it dried out. Jorge Lorenzo's doing a good job as well. He's hanging in there in fourth place. He's got a glimpse of him as they come into this left. But this is Valentino Rossi, 75-point leader in the championship, 6 Grand Prix wins, 3 on the bounce, starting at Laguna Seca, of course, when he won in California 2 months ago. We ride with him. There's Andrea Dovizioso in front of him. You just get a glimpse of the race leader there. Of course, that's Nicky Hayden.
Rossi earlier on the brakes, just sliding up earlier on the throttle also, coming up those corners. Down the front straight they go. Look at the historic sound on either side, the pagoda on the left. They cross the yard of bricks about now. Valentino Rossi thinks about going up the inside. Not close enough this time.
I think it was Jorge Lorenzo said he was following Valentino Rossi into turn 1. And there was just no way he could have stuck with him. Rossi another fastest lap.
151.9 now from Rossi. Lorenzo very close to him this time, and Rossi has a go, but Dovizioso straight back.
Yeah, Rossi's desperate to get past him now. Dovizioso did a Rossi on him. He got past immediately and took him back. He's learned from the master, hasn't he? This is up into turn 5. Rossi thinking about getting up the inside of turn 5. That's really not the place to do it.
Really hairy place to go through there. It's the only corner they said they've got a few concerns about. They'll get that sorted for next year. Rossi just forced wide a little bit by Dovizioso and into the puddles.
Get into the puddles too much and want to stick where they're at, because I just think it's wet and slippery out there. But now they're going around the left, it's the right, and then they will come onto the asphalt they like. This is the back straight. Nicky Hayden, though, still leads the way. Dovizioso second, Rossi third. Jorge Lorenzo isn't out of this either in fourth place. We've just got a glimpse of Casey Stoner in fifth.
He's closing in, actually, Casey Stoner. It's down to 2 seconds, the gap back to him. And there's Mr. Fukui, the president of Honda. Well, your boy's leaving. He's going to Ducati next year.
And he's winning the race.
But he's leading the race at the moment. This will be very interesting to see.
Super stuff by Hayden. He's had a wretched season. Really had a tough old time, Nicky Hayden, since he won the World Championship. But he's at his best. He's the most determined, hard-riding customer you wish to see. Also one of the most charming, friendly
for Rossi here.
Rossi on the inside of Dovizioso. Will it stick this time round? It has. Yes, just.
Oh, Dovizioso is not letting it lie, though, is he? Straight away as they come onto the start-finish straight. Rossi's going to have the edge on power, I'm sure. Maybe Dovizioso can brake slightly later, but getting all that spray in his visor really won't be conducive. Oh, and the fastest man on the circuit at the moment, Nicky Hayden. That's because Rossi was held up by Andrea Dovizioso.
And now, let's see. We know what Nicky Hayden's made of, but this is going to be hard now. Rossi will play the old game. He will get there. But pressure, Nicky Hayden.
I have to say, it's the best I've ever seen Nicky ride in the wet.
Oh, absolutely
He rode
fantastic.
superbly in Le Mans, remember last year when he crashed out. He had a similar crash to Danny Pedrosa when he crashed out of the Saxon-Ring Grand Prix earlier on this year. But this is a really good ride. You can just see the determination in him. He's riding with a cracked heel. Still not 100% fit. He's missed the last 2 rounds through injury. And it just shows the sheer determination and guts that he has to get out here and fight for it.
Jorge Lorenzo now trying to get after Andrea Dovizioso. These two had some rare old battles in the 250cc championship for the last 2 years.
Never in the wet, though.
Now, you've got to say that was usually Lorenzo that got the better of Andrea Dovizioso. Hayden, his father Earl told us they couldn't ride in the wet, so they used to pour water on the backyard of their house and make them practice in the rain. It didn't rain, just to make them practice on a wet surface. Certainly seems to be paying off. Just holding it at about 9/10 of a second, Nicky Hayden, but Rossi is the pass master of this situation. He will start pressure. If he knows that Dovizioso and Lorenzo aren't going to catch him, he may not.
Chris Vermeulen up into 9th position, just behind Sylvain Guintoli. They've both made progress right from the back of the field after having problems on that first lap. Hayden leads from Rossi in 2nd place, who's closed right down now to half a second. Then it's Dovizioso in 3rd, Lorenzo in 4th, Stoner in 5th, closing in on Lorenzo slightly. Ben Spies in 6th, great ride from him. Pedrosa 7th, Guintoli 8th, Vermeulen 9th, Toseland 10th. West is up into 11th now, past both De Angelis and Hopkins, as Valentino Rossi closes right in. He's just taken 7/10 out of Nicky Hayden on that last lap, and soon we'll be on it. What has Nicky Hayden got in the locker?
Big test for Nicky Hayden. Still running in the lead. He's led from the, well, not the start. Dovizioso led from the start. He's ridden quite beautifully in these very difficult conditions. 2006 World Champion versus the man that's won the Premier Class title for 5 years. His last title victory coming in 2005. Hayden coming under increasing pressure all the time.
Slipping and sliding that rear tire. It's great to watch Nicky Hayden when he's on song. Such an amazing rider to see. I was watching all those flat track guys last night, Nick, and you see just what skill they have riding those bikes down those miles. Incredible stuff. And Rossi's right on him now, isn't he? Now it's all about the tactics as a racer. Valentino Rossi used to stalking his prey. Waiting to see if they make the mistake. At the moment, Nicky Hayden's been pretty solid.
Certainly has 2 very different racing heritages. Nicky Hayden brought up on the flat tracks from around here and around America. Valentino Rossi coming up through the more established way. 25 world champion, 250cc world champion. Both of them champions in MotoGP. And both of them putting on a fabulous show here at Indianapolis with 20.5 laps to go. Hayden leads Rossi. We have that ominous feeling that, well, Rossi's going to start pressuring. And of course, these two had a ride right to the final round of the 2006 World Championship, and Hayden won the title when Rossi crashed out.
20 laps remaining now. They cross the yard of bricks once more, and he lets that rear slip out from underneath him. And Jorge Lorenzo has finally got past Andrea Dovizioso. Casey Stoner is closing in on the pair of them though. Valentino Rossi's just set another fast lap of the race, but Hayden's not too far from it, so these two are way faster than anyone else, a second quicker. And I'm just so happy to see Hayden out there in front after all the stick he's taken throughout the year, for the problems he's had. Obviously with the move from Bridgestone to Bridgestone just baffled him on his side of the team as well. He's finally said goodbye to Honda. He's been with Honda for years and years and years, and it's very, very dear to him. It's a big move for him to move to Ducati. It will be announced in the coming days. You just have to say that he's given everything he can to Honda, and he's still giving it, isn't he, for these remaining 4.5 races.
Wouldn't expect anything less of him. Rossi closing, is he closing for the kill? Hayden will not make life easy for him. And Rossi chasing his 7th Grand Prix victory of the season. That's the gap. We don't really need to even look at the gap because Rossi is there. We know exactly what he's doing.
Oh, Rossi's run it wide there, though. Valentino Rossi's run it wide slightly. Brought it back round. Nicky Hayden looking, he looks very, very good. Looks determined on everything. That's the way he's riding. There's a shot of him there.
He looks like a flat track.
Straight.
He looks like one of those mile riders from last night, doesn't he?
He's hunched over the front of the bike as well. Just keeping that front end in check. Hayden pulls out a 10th on that section.
Honda and Yamaha look on. Top men are here. Rossi's going to work a little bit harder to get back up with Hayden to keep that pressure on. It'll be 19 laps to go when they cross the line. Pretty equal on top speed, one I imagine, on the run to the line. Hayden through the spray, brakes now for turn 1. This very difficult left-hander. Third place still, Jorge Lorenzo. Andrea Dovizioso coming under increasing pressure.
Hayden
Casey Stoner
just set another fastest lap at 150.432. So he's fighting back, Nicky Hayden. And this, if he were to manage to finish in the top 3, would be his first podium finish of the season.
Lorenzo wants to finish in the top 3. That's a replay of him overtaking Andrea Dovizioso. But the battle rages at the front. Hayden is not going to hand this to Valentino Rossi without one hell of a big fight. Look out also for Casey Stoner. He's coming under pressure from behind the bench speed, really catching the men in front of him. Andrea Dovizioso and perhaps even Jorge Lorenzo. But he just wanted a bit of confidence in these conditions, Casey Stoner. He's found out what he wanted to know, and now he really is piling on the pressure.
Dovizioso then in 4th position ahead of Casey Stoner. James Tozen's dropping down the order, down into 14th now. Was as high as 8th, has gone back down through the order. There's Ben Speed in 6th, having a very, very solid race. Trying to secure himself a future in MotoGP. Talks he may go to World Superbike, but we'd love to see him in MotoGP. He's got a lot of talent, Ben Speed.
Well, he'd come as an AMA champion. The man that leads the way at the moment was an AMA champion. That's Nicky Hayden.
3-time AMA champion, Ben Speed sealing that very, very recently.
We ride with the king of Grand Prix motorcycle racing, Valentino Rossi, sizing Hayden up. Is he going to dive up the inside on the front? But he sized him up, didn't he? He let him know he was there. This is classic Valentino Rossi. I don't think Nicky Hayden will fall for it, but he's pressuring him. Make a mistake, he's telling him. Make a mistake. Nicky Hayden's made no mistake so far.
Great shot of all the fans that have come in here today. Some Italians, and in fact they look like Mexicans who come down for the day. All sorts of people from all sorts of backgrounds coming to enjoy this.
Like a football match, nobody's sitting down. This is fabulous stuff. We are so pleased. We can't emphasise how pleased we are to be in Indianapolis to see a race like this, an American leading the way, the best of Valentino Rossi. These fans in Indianapolis deserve this. They're getting the very best despite the rain.
Second place, Valentino Rossi. The status quo now for the last few laps.
Of course, Rossi could say he won't. He could say, hey, Casey Stoner's behind me. I got this massive lead in the World Championship. Let's let this remain the same. I absolutely promise you, he will not settle for second place.
He wants to win the first Indianapolis Grand Prix. He wants to overtake Giacomo Agostini at the top of the all-time winners list in MotoGP. He wants all those things, and he wants to bring that title ever more closer. Every time he wins a race, that means the title is closer to his doorstep once more. But Nicky Hayden's taking the fight to him, and he's pulling away once again. Nicky Hayden is very quick on this lap, I have to say. That was Rossi's fastest lap on the last one, a 153.378. And as they go around this one into the left-handers, I won't be surprised to see Nicky Hayden extending that fastest lap on this time round. They go now, 3 left-handers.
Yeah, there's a third split coming up now.
We'll Rossi into the right, and then left back on themselves onto the start-finish straight. Hayden will tuck underneath the bubble one more time. Right, he gets over that front wheel to help bring it up.
This is the best we've seen Nicky Hayden ride since he won the World Championship 2 years ago. Right back to his very best. Honda, have you made a mistake? Hello, Ducati. Fastest lap of the race to Hayden.
150.057, so he's improved even further, but they're all improving as just the track dries out slightly, and they're finding grip more and more of the time. Again, this is the hard part of the circuit through the first split. Grip is at a premium here.
It's Casey Stoner chasing after Andrea Dovizioso. Behind them is Ben Spies. Stoner's got there, but he does seem to be having problems now actually getting past Dovizioso, which in these conditions is right, because you get off into the marbles anywhere, it's very, very slippery, you're going to have problems behind you. One thing Casey Stoner wants to do is crash. He's done that too often in the last 2 races. He's thrown away possible 25 points.
So 11 laps gone. We still haven't had anyone crash out. Touch wood, of course. We don't want anyone to crash out or anything like that. But when the tyres start wearing down, when it gets a little bit drier, it'll be a little bit harder for to stay upright, won't it? Especially in those places where the new asphalt is.
Got to look down the field at Ant West. It's now up into 10th place, Ant West. Very, very last in the drive qualifying sessions. Fastest in the wet. He's riding quite brilliantly. 10 times. This is obviously the Ducati pit. Looking at Casey Stoner on Graham Dovizioso's battle for 4th place.
Again, when you're riding in the wet, you need a reference, you need something to ride from. And if the man in front of you is not riding as quick as you'd like, then that doesn't help you too much. Meanwhile, Valentino Rossi's tagged back on to the rear of Nicky Hayden, probably seeing where he was gaining advantage, use that to his own advantage. Onto the start-finish straight one more time though, and Hayden pulls away down there. That looks good if they're in this situation on the last lap.
Certainly does. It does appear that the Honda comes out of the turn quicker. It's a long, long drag to the line.
But Rossi's just set another fastest lap. Hayden actually slowed up on that lap, 3/10 slower. Rossi was the one who improved.
Turn 1. This is the new asphalt, as we said. Not a slip from Nicky Hayden, but taking it very, very carefully. We've seen Valentino Rossi do this so often. We've seen Max Biaggi, Sete Gibernau, people of a very, very high standard. Not been able to take this.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I have to say, Casey Stoner, not sure it's in the same situation as it was with those two in the past. But he has. Oh, and there's Nicky Hayden's run it a little bit wide through there, has he? Or is he just trying to find a bit more of the wetness? He's run it very, very wide though, didn't he?
I think he was a bit wide, to be honest with you, through turn 5.
Didn't affect him too much though,
no, it didn't.
I wonder if Valentino Rossi just followed him slightly.
Could have done. He's round the left, now into the right. This will bring them onto the back straight. Rossi very close.
Look at the clouds in the background.
Yeah, Rossi said this is one of the best overtaking places at the end of this back straight. Will he try it? Will he come out of the slipstream and try him? No, but he's letting him know all the time that he's capable of trying it if he wants to. Full marks to Nicky Hayden. He is not budging 1 inch.
Just have to say that the gap between Rossi and Lorenzo, who's in 3rd spot, is 5 seconds now. So they've got a bit of a cushion at the moment, but they're just pushing each other, really working on each other, aren't they?
Well, they've seen Formula 1 at Indianapolis. No disrespect to Formula 1, but this is a fabulous race. Rossi's gone up the inside. Again, doesn't go. This is classic Valentino Rossi. He is really putting the pressure on Nicky Hayden. The tough bird, Nicky Hayden. He learned his trade on what we were watching last night, mile racing in the dirt. And that won't faze him one little bit, but Rossi will keep doing it and doing it. And in the end, he will make a move. He made a move in the Andrea Dovizioso, and Dovizioso falls straight back. Rossi is, I would say, he's biding his time, but he's trying to force Hayden into making a mistake, and Hayden has not made one mistake yet.
He'll know there's 15 laps remaining in this race and doesn't have to do anything too rash. He's got Nicky Hayden in his sights. He doesn't need to do anything just yet.
You're right with Valentino Rossi. This is the replay. It's closing up on the rear wheel.
There are. Splitting up all the water, doesn't it? Not as wide that time through there, Nicky Hayden.
Now this is turn 5, and then coming to turn 6. And it's the right, and then the left. Ride with Hayden. Great on-board pictures. That fluorescent number 46 through the gloom You got that in your rear mirror all the time. You know, Rossi sizing him up again. I think Rossi really wants to try and take him up the inside as they go into this turn at the end of the back straight. He thinks about it again, Rossi. Whoa, and Valentino Rossi takes the lead for the very first time.
Nicky Hayden relegated to second. Can he fight back though? He has to stick on the tail of Valentino Rossi. He's chasing someone for the first time in this race, Nicky Hayden. Apart from the first couple of corners when Stoner was leading, Hayden now has to stick it in behind Valentino Rossi. Can he do so? Well, Rossi has obviously got the hammer down straight away. He's strong in this part of the track. That Yamaha is very, very nimble, very agile, and looks good through these left-handers. Onto the right, and then there'll be a quick left before they go back down the start-finish straight. Can Hayden make up any ground when he opens the engine of that Honda?
He certainly appeared to when he was in the lead last time, but no, he doesn't appear he can do it this time. Absolutely brilliant riding from Valentino Rossi. You really do have to hand it to him. That was superb stuff. Pressure, pressure, pressure. He said that was going to be his favourite overtaking place. There it is. It's at the end of the back straight into the left-hander, and there's nowhere for Nicky Hayden to go.
Nothing Nicky Hayden could do about that Romania tight line could have helped, but unfortunately, Rossi goes through and takes the lead. And he's starting to pull away already. 8/10 of a second, the gap between Valentino Rossi and Nicky Hayden. Could that be the moment where the Indianapolis GP has been decided? Really, the championship, because he could go now to Motegi. If Valentino Rossi were to win this one, he could go to Motegi.
Virtually certain
Pretty
clinching the
comfortable,
title.
yeah. He would only have to take a certain amount of points, finish 10th or something like that.
The home of Honda, Motegi, and it could be a Yamaha winning the title as it was with Stoner last year when he did it for Ducati. But the Americans, when we said Valentino Rossi says he can walk down the street in America, certainly in New York, nobody recognises him. All performances like this in the home of the world motorsport, and everybody in the world will recognise him.
Further down the order, Casey Stoner finally did get past Andrea Dovizioso on that last lap. So Stoner now is up into 4th position, but he's 6.5 seconds down on Jorge Lorenzo. So it's Rossi leading, Hayden in 2nd place, 1.2 the gap between them. Rossi's really letting it fly now, opening that throttle as much as he can to pull away from Nicky Hayden. Hayden just has to keep it in check. Who knows what can happen later on? It might start raining heavily again. It might dry up on the racing line.
As they flash down the back to the main street at about 180 miles an hour.
Valentino Rossi's just done a 1:49.6, half a second quicker than anyone else today.
Must break your heart if you're Nicky Hayden. So I think if you said at the start of the race Nicky Hayden may finish 2nd, he wouldn't be too unhappy about that. Casey Stoner in 4th place. Jorge Lorenzo, Andrea Dovizioso 5th, Ben Speed still in 6th spot. Behind them,
Danny Pedrosa there in 7th, going into turn 1.
Silver Kintley having a very good ride.
He's really caught up right from the back. He's right on Danny Pedrosa's tail now. Gintley, 2nd of the Ducatis today.
Tell you what, I think the conditions are getting worse out there. You get the feeling they'd like to try and run it the required distance before they could perhaps even stop the race, and then they wouldn't not have to have a rerun in it. Well,
They can't stop
continue
it.
race.
It's a wet race.
No, they can't stop it, so they've got to run it all the way through.
But it certainly looks like it's raining just slightly out there.
Slightly.
Well, no, I popped out briefly.
That's from a Yorksman. That's slight rain, that is.
Obviously it's raining.
This is a wet race, you're absolutely right.
They can't stop it. Can only come in and change tyres when it dries out. But it has got wetter out there. Now we'll see on this lap what Valentino Rossi can do.
They could actually stop the race if a standing water made it too dangerous.
Of course, if it was dangerous.
You never know. I mean, that's what we certainly saw earlier. The standing water that was causing the problem, so they couldn't go out and race in the 250s. It's a very strange light out there at the moment, though. It seems to change on different parts of the circuit, doesn't it?
Now we just need to see if Nicky Hayden can use this changing conditions to his advantage. It started to rain again out there, started to get wet. Can he use that? Can he take advantage of it? Close back up. He was in fine form early on in this race. And on that last lap, he hasn't lost too much to Valentino Rossi.
I love the clear visors, don't you, when they ride in the rain? Just look at that determination from Nicky Hayden. And it's Andrea Dovizioso really coming back, I think, at Casey Stoner. And Ben Speed's also joining in. This is the battle for 4th place.
Yeah, they've just dropped their lap times by 3 seconds on that last one. You can see there was a racing line forming at that turn 1, and it's not there anymore. It's started to get thicker again, hasn't it?
Certainly has.
Well, you can just see, well, you can't see. Basically, that's the point. As the rain starts to get heavier once more.
We ride on board. The only way we can see the race at the moment is on board, because the rest of the cameras are getting absolutely fogged up in the rain pouring down. What some onboard shots. Some nasty clouds. We ride with Casey Stoner, behind him Andrea Dovizioso, and then Ben Spies. I think Gavin's going to go out and have a look at the weather. I think that's very, very sensible indeed. The weather is deteriorating here in Indianapolis. There's 11 and a half laps to go. Valentino Rossi leads the way from Nicky Hayden. But the rain is absolutely pouring down. And Andrea Dovizioso has gone up the inside of Casey Stoner. Andrea Dovizioso has moved back into 4th place. Vizioso 4, Stoner 5, and this is the, big moment for Valentino Rossi. And when you're on form, when you're chasing your 4th successive Grand Prix victory, I don't know if it's luck, I don't know if it's God is with you, but Rossi stays on.
White line, wasn't it? You've got to stay away from the white lines. Well, that was interesting. It is really blowing a gale outside, and the rain is really not bucketing down, but swirling in the air. It's impossible to see, surely, for these guys. And Nicky Hayden will be behind, we're getting all that spray as well up in his face from Valentino Rossi. Very hard to do anything in that, and that's why Casey Stoner just dropped back. The lap times on this lap, I'm sure, will be a lot slower. Yeah, Rossi 2 seconds slower, 1:52. Hayden, a 1:51.6, takes 4/10 off him on that last section there.
Ben Spies now getting after Casey Stoner.
Oh, you can see Stoner having a look at switch also. Well, this is going to be very interesting. We said if the conditions change, anything could happen. Nicky Hayden may just throw caution to the wind and try and close right in.
Let's just get this right though, Gav. If it got too dangerous, the race can be stopped, can't it? If they start to get running water on the track.
Of course it can. If there's standing water, then it can be stopped. You're right. But at the moment, with the riders racing, they're creating a racing line. They're creating a line that isn't so wet.
Let's have a little bit further down. Silver Gintley, Chris Vermeulen, and West is still in behind Danny Pedrosa, Alex De Angelis in 11th place.
Gintley and Vermeulen have both got past Danny Pedrosa.
And a squiggle there from Casey Stoner. Oh, brave men out there. Don't want to keep saying it. NASCAR, IndyCar here won't ride in the rain. This isn't rain. This is storm, is it? This is tropical storm conditions. And Valentino Rossi leads away. But Valentino Rossi will be the first to tell us after the race. He is a very, very lucky man indeed. Got on the white line. Big moment. Somehow he held onto the Yamaha.
Andrea Dovizioso seems to have pulled away again from Casey Stoner. Stoner not adapted to these conditions. You can see the wind is just blowing debris across the track as well. I wonder what race direction they're thinking looking at this now, because the wind is picking up. The hurricane, we were told we weren't going to get too much of it, but it seems like there's a few tailwinds coming, isn't it, from here and there, and really blowing the bikes back, blowing the rain about also. Now, the gap on the last lap was 1.1 seconds. There's Valentino Rossi. Nicky Hayden not too far. He's having to lift his head, isn't he? Just so he can see out of his bubble. If they cross the start-finish line now, the gap is at 1 second, so he's taken a 10th off him this time, Nicky Hayden.
We ride with Valentino Rossi, we ride with Nicky Hayden. What a battle at the front in the rain. Jorge Lorenzo, superb ride by him at the moment in 3rd place. I don't want to tempt fate, but can you believe it? We have not seen a rider go down in these conditions. Speaks volumes for their skill and bravery. Casey Stoner fights back against Andrea Dovizioso. Ben Spies at the back of them. Dovizioso 4, Stoner 5, Spies in 6th place. The rain still continues to pour down. There's Danny Pedrosa. Danny Pedrosa currently behind Silver Gintley and Chris Vermeulen. There's Silver Gintley riding for a MotoGP future. This ride at the moment will not do his chances any harm at all. John Hopkins closing up there on Randy Depunier. John Hopkins in 13th place, Randy Depunier 14th.
Well, this is intriguing stuff, isn't it? Really, really intriguing, as the weather conditions are shocking out there. You can see that.
Can you see? That's the thing. It's very, very hard to see.
Anthony West has dropped down, hasn't he? De Angelis got in front of him, so De Angelis taking to these conditions slightly better.
Nicky Hayden dropped back.
By
Nicky
a
Hayden
second.
just dropped back by a second now. Is that Rossi piling it on us? And Nicky Hayden has had a moment, I think.
Well, it's a bit of both, probably.
Yeah, 2.5 second gap now. I bet Rossi looks every lap as his pit will try to, has a look to see if any flags are going out. Will the race run its full course? Probably praying that it won't. 9 laps to go. I really don't think I've seen a race run at such speed and such terrible conditions.
Just has a really good look at this board, didn't he? Seeing how many laps remaining, seeing the gap between himself and Hayden, it now stands at 3 seconds.
Elk Carruthers in there, I think, wasn't it? The former Yamaha, of course, the world champion in the 250 sitting class, and man behind the likes of Wayne Rainey and Eddie Lawson in those famous Yamaha days. We ride with Rossi.
Casey Stoner has got back in front of Andrea Dovizioso. He's up into 4th position. This is Nicky Hayden in a lonely 2nd place now, and Lorenzo is closing in on him. He was 7 seconds, down to 5 seconds. On that last lap, Hayden's obviously had a big moment, dropped a couple of seconds. Whoa, through turn 1 as well. Whoa! Bucking about the rear, and it's now the gap to 4 seconds between himself and Rossi. This was the move from Stoner to take Andrea Dovizioso. Real treachery out there for the riders.
Absolutely superb stuff from Stoner. Brave, calculated, brilliant execution in such truly atrocious conditions. Casey Stoner finishes his race, and I'm sure he will. Although he's not going to be first, I think it would do his confidence a great deal of good because he's riding quite beautifully. But nobody is riding better than this man at the moment. He's had one big moment, Valentino Rossi. Got through that one. Nicky Hayden, all eyes, and the big eyes coming out from that clear visor. If you'd have said before the race you might finish second, he'd have taken that there and then, I can assure you. But he's led the way, he's pushed Valentino Rossi hard, and now he has got to concentrate, stay on that Michelin-shot Honda at the end of the race. 20 World Championship points, but more important, second here in Indianapolis.
There's the gap between Rossi, who comes through the final corner, Hayden, who's in 2nd position behind him. Quite a way away. Valentino Rossi then streams down the front straight, streaming probably not the right term as the rain pours down and we have lots of water on this track. Now in that turn 1 you can just see, try and see how deep the water is there.
Rossi very gingerly rides through there, who can blame him?
The gap between Hayden and Lorenzo is down to under 2 seconds now.
I do hope Nicky Hayden's going to finish on the podium, and that is absolutely no disrespect to the likes of Casey Stoner or Jorge Lorenzo. He deserves a podium finish, doesn't he?
Yeah, Nicky Hayden, especially after what happened in Assen, of course, when he was destined for the podium and had that awful fuel running out problem.
We ride with Valentino Rossi, 7.5 laps. Lorenzo. Oh, sorry, Lorenzo. 7.5 laps to go. Let's have a look. Can we see him and Nicky Hayden? We certainly can. Oh, he's catching Nicky Hayden now. Would Hayden settle for 3rd, he would still be on the podium, wouldn't
3
he?
seconds quicker Lorenzo was on that last lap.
Both of them on Michelin tyres. Not too much wrong with the Michelin's in the wet here.
He's closing right in on him now, Jorge Lorenzo.
I think Nicky Hayden had a very big moment.
Oh, and he's had another one there,
yeah.
just coming out.
So Lorenzo closes up shortly now. Perhaps he'll even do it here to take over 2nd place. No, he's going to bide his time. Different line from Jorge Lorenzo to Nicky Hayden. Hayden coming in a lot tighter there. Both seems to suit, well, it seems to suit them both.
Cutting across the corner a lot more, doesn't he, Nicky Hayden? Jorge Lorenzo trials it in a lot more, smoother through the corners. It's the old flat track style versus the 250 style.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair to Jorge Lorenzo, he did go to Kenny Roberts Ranch, didn't he?
He did, to learn to
slide in California to learn how to let that rear slip out from underneath you.
So surely he's gonna. That's what he wanted to do, didn't he? But Hayden rode it so well he wasn't able to. Made the move on the first part of the corner. Earl Hayden, Nicky's dad, rides every metre of a race. Now up the start finish straight, surely Lorenzo not going to take him into turn 1. He is, you know. He is. Oh, is that the place to try and overtake? I would have thought not.
Fair play. So look how gingerly they're going through there. They almost sat up, weren't they?
Yeah. Splashing through the puddles. Lorenzo wants to get by. Hayden doesn't want to let him get by.
Red flag has gone out. Red flag has gone out. This race will come to an end. Valentino Rossi will win the race.
Nicky Hayden will be in 2nd place. Jorge Lorenzo 3rd. The red flag goes out.
I just wonder because, well, if the red flag does come out in this kind of conditions, whether they would run the last 5 laps. Or they would run those laps. It's rule book time, Nick.
It is now. My feeling is that Gavin's going to race into race control and he's going to find out. I think it probably means because the race was declared wet, that Valentino Rossi has been declared the winner. Certainly Yamaha think that. I'm pretty certain that is the case. We are just going to clarify the situation. Valentino Rossi will be declared the winner. Nicky Hayden second, Jorge Lorenzo in third place. I think it's just enormous relief from all concerned that the race has been stopped. It had to be stopped. It was getting too dangerous. Valentino Rossi has won his 4th consecutive Grand Prix, his 7th of the season. The Hayden family are going to celebrate. There is Dad Earl waving at the screen. I think that's a granddaughter, isn't it? Well ridden, Nicky Hayden. Fabulous stuff from the Kentucky kid. Second in front of his home crowd. He's done them proud. In some ways, he's rubbed Honda's nose into things a little bit. He's been well in front of Danny Pedrosa. Crowd are on their feet. Valentino Rossi wins the Indy Grand Prix here at Indianapolis. The local man, Nicky Hayden, in second place. The race has been stopped. Places will be taken 8 laps from the end, rightly so. Gavin's coming from race control.
They're looking into, basically, they don't feel the race can be run in these conditions, but they can't stop it.
Right. So what does that mean?
They're supposed to start again. Not start again, but start with a less amount of laps.
Right. They're not going to do that, are they?
We'll have to see it now.
Right. So here we are. We're off celebrating along with Yamaha, along with Valentino Rossi. But we don't know yet exactly what is going to happen. Surely the race cannot be rerun, even over 5 laps in these conditions. Valentino Rossi's come into the garage rather into Parc Ferme, and we wait for a decision. I can tell you, we are right across it. We are right across it. Gavin can dip into race control, but well, there are celebrations. I think rightly so. I'm pretty certain that Valentino Rossi will be declared the winner. They can't go back out there if it's too dangerous. No, Rossi celebrates. He thinks he's won. 7 Grand Prix victories, 4 in a row. Increases his lead in the World Championship. Doesn't get a lot better than that, but I can tell you, he had one mighty big moment when he got the Yamaha onto the white line, and he was so lucky to stay on the bike. Nicky Hayden, what a ride by him. So let's have a look. This usually means the results are going to come up when we get this picture. But I think, Gavin thinks, Gavin's been into race control. It hasn't been totally confirmed that this is the race result. Surely in these conditions, if the race is stopped because it's too dangerous, they can't go back out there again. Look at Nicky Hayden limping away. Still that injured heel causing him problems. No problems though out on the racetrack. Nicky Hayden has finished a quite brilliant second in truly atrocious conditions here at Indianapolis. But we wait. Valentino Rossi hasn't taken his helmet off yet. He's won. He thinks he's won. I'm sure he's won. Yes. I think you're glad that's all over with, Valentino. This isn't the earlier stages of the race. I can tell it's not raining so hard as it did. He stalked Nicky Hayden in typical Rossi style, and then he struck. And when he struck, he was gone. Nicky Hayden fought back bravely when the rain really started to pour down, but I think Nicky Hayden had one very big moment. Jorge Lorenzo, well done. Another podium finish for the man from Mallorca, and again he has ridden quite brilliantly. And I don't think I'm telling him he's got to go out there again and ride a 5-lap race, do you? I'm sure they don't, because the rain is still absolutely pouring down.
Just trying to work out, really, because they feel that they can't run in this sort of conditions. It's too dangerous out there for the riders. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens, see what the decision is.
I'm absolutely certain that it will stand, because, as you say, you stop a race because it's too dangerous. Certainly the conditions aren't getting any better. You can't continue. Valentino Rossi a bit cold, putting on a anorak. You don't see that very often. But really now en route to clinching the 2008 MotoGP World Championship in just 2 weeks' time, Motegi in Japan. Well, the remnants of Hurricane Ike have arrived here in Indianapolis, and that there is no doubt. They said there was going to be a tornado warning. Well, I don't know if it's a tornado, probably not. But I tell you, it's wet and very, very windy. Here is Nicky Hayden, back in the box. We keep coming to this shot, and I tell you why. Everybody wants to put the results up, but race control have not confirmed the results yet. Anybody can tell you what they like, but this race result has not been confirmed. I'm 99.9% certain it will be confirmed, because they can't let the riders go out there again. That would mean Casey Stoner would finish in 4th place. In those conditions, I thought Casey Stoner rode quite beautifully. The rain continues to pour down. We are supposed to get a 250cc race in about half an hour's time, but I tell you, I don't think the 250s would certainly run at the moment, and we may have to see the 250s even scrapped, because the rain, the wind, the end of the Hurricane Ike, the tail end of it. We had flooding in Chicago airport yesterday. The rain has been swirling around for the last day and a half. It's arrived, and it is just soaking the famous Brickyard circuit here in Indianapolis. Yamaha, I'm pretty certain they've won, but even now, look, they're having a little bit of a discussion. Valentino Rossi wants to say, yes, I've won. That's jolly good, but he's not. Oh, yeah. He shrugs his shoulders. You don't want to go out there again, though, do you, Valentino Rossi? And I wouldn't blame you. Surely they couldn't send the riders out. I'm certain they can't send the riders out there again. We've lost Gavin. I think he's involved in the discussions now. But he will come back, and I can tell you, he will have the news quicker than anybody else. But we are waiting. Just look. There is no way they will ask those riders to go out there again and ride in a 5 or 6 lap sprint. That's got to be the race result. Says Nick Harris. Yeah, don't quote me on it. Still no sign of Gavin from race control. Dovizioso, what a good ride he had. I think he's going to be awarded 5th place. He's had a few 5th places this season, but come on. He was the man that really went for it in the early stages, didn't he? He had nothing to lose, and he absolutely went for the lead, took the lead. This man is going to be very, very good when he arrives at Repsol Honda next season. Listen to the wind. Tornado warning, they say. That was the tornado in the race. Looks like a Friday afternoon in Blackpool in August, doesn't it? Everybody's sheltering, waiting for some news. I'll tell you now, as always, Rossi's pit crew are preparing the bike to go out there again. I'm sure it's not going to happen, but they are ready if it does. I tell you what, it would be inhuman, it would be cruel to ask the riders to go out there again and race. That's surely not going to. Am I seeing things? Looked like there was a horse there in a pit lane. I cannot believe it was. I think it's me, probably a little bit of water's got into somewhere. That looked like there was a white horse going up pit lane. Surely not. We wait. Everybody waits. Ben Spies, good ride by him. Spies should be awarded 6th place. He's not taking his leathers off, is he? Nobuatsu Aoki, former Suzuki Grand Prix rider, now the test rider, with him all the way. And he's telling him, just keep focused, just keep calm. Tell you what, there is still no decision. Still no decision has been made. The race has been stopped with 8 laps to go. One would imagine that would be it, but the rule book says when it's declared a wet race, they can't stop it. But if it's too dangerous, surely they have no choice. Surely now they will not ask the riders to go back out there. Rossi discussing things with Jerry Burgess and the Bridgestone tyre technicians. They're covering all the bases. Is the weather clearing up now? Oh my golly. This may not be over. The wind. That's the air fence, isn't it? Being blown away from what it's supposed to be protecting. No, they're all ready to go out there again. They are ready to go out if they're going to be asked. Valentino Rossi decides, I'm going to find out for myself what is going on. Hervé Poncharal Mike Trimby, the President and Secretary of IRTA, the Riders Association, discussing matters with Valentino Rossi. Carmelo Espoleto, the CEO of Dorna, now talking to Valentino Rossi. Quite heated discussions going on. Carmelo Espoleto explained to Valentino Rossi what the rule book says. You know they could still go out. Just get a feeling they may. Look at those conditions. It's a Yamaha hoarding, a Yamaha banner blown down. Still no results. Bit of booing now coming from the crowd. Casey Stoner there discussing things. They say they don't want to go out again. I think they've made it clear they don't want to go out again. Valentino Rossi talking to Italian television. Mike Trimby, we see the the Secretary of IRTA there. Still no results. Here we go. This is where they show the results. They're not coming up, I can tell you. Still no sign of Gavin from race control. Drama here at Indianapolis. It may not be over. The wind picking up. It does appear that it has stopped raining. Oh, John Hopkins surely doesn't want to go out there again. D. Miller, his physio with him. IRTA officials wait for some sort of decision. We wait for some sort of decision. The riders wait for some sort of decision. I really don't think it's all over yet. Loris Capirossi checks as well. Davide Brivio. Ah, it looks like he's done it. Jerry Burgess has come with the news, I think, that Valentino Rossi has won the Indy Grand Prix. You heard it first here, you saw it first here. We haven't got official confirmation, but I can tell you, Valentino Rossi has won the race here at Indianapolis. I think Jerry Burgess has got a secret phone line to race control. But Yamaha are now convinced that Valentino Rossi has won the race. We still wait for Gavin to return. It's all over. Jorge Lorenzo celebrates now. Gavin returns. I think we know what the answer is.
Yeah, I think you already know. Valentino Rossi has won it. Nicky Hayden will take a podium in second and Lorenzo in third. They won't be 250 though afterwards because it really is blowing a huge gale out there.
So, no 250cc race, but it's got to be the right decision because if it's too dangerous, it's not worth running. Well done, Nicky Hayden. Rossi now. I think that's the first time we've seen him smile since he's come back in. Yeah, it's all over. He's done it. Valentino Rossi increases his lead in the World Championship. He wins his 7th Grand Prix victory of the season, his 4th in a row. And surely now he is going to be crowned the 2008 MotoGP World Champion at Motegi in Japan, the home of Honda, in 2 weeks' time. Jorge Lorenzo makes his way up towards the podium. Lollipop in mouth as always. Here we go. Oh, what drama. What a race. It's an amazing start by Nicky Hayden. Great start by Andrea Dovizioso. See how the conditions went. It stopped raining at this point. Also a great start by Casey Stoner. Stoner led the way initially. Fun and games behind. Dovizioso takes the lead from Stoner. Nicky Hayden closes up in 3rd place. Rossi looking just testing things out. Then he gets a really big surprise as Jorge Lorenzo goes past it, just as Rossi tells him to go past Stoner. Then Nicky Hayden, to the line of the crowd, takes the lead. Pete Benson, the crew chief, looks on. Hayden riding quite brilliantly in the conditions, leads the way from the 5-time MotoGP World Champion. Dovizioso fights back against Valentino Rossi, not making life easy for him. Rossi fights back, takes over 3rd place. Hayden leads the way. Rossi Rossi takes the lead. Sorry, this is Jorge Lorenzo, not Valentino Rossi. He gets past James Tozer. You can see Sylvan Ginty having a great ride there. It's number 69, the Kentucky kid that leads away from the MotoGP magician, Valentino Rossi. Sweat, it's horrible. Through a puddle there for Nicky Hayden. Up the inside at the end of the back straight. Rossi takes the lead for the first time. And then starts to pull away. Gets the Yamaha on a white line and has a big, big slide. Boy, Lorenzo holding on there in third place. Jason Stoner involved in a great battle with Andrea Dovizioso. Retakes it, Ben Spies looks on. Rossi trying to get past Nicky Hayden as they're going to turn on, but then the race is stopped. Rossi surely declared the winner, but we have to wait a little while to hear that. Jorge Lorenzo in third place, Nicky Hayden fourth, limps away. Still with that damage deal, but he's done it.